Have you ever asked yourself why the pain you carry never seems to go away, no matter how much you try to bury it? That ache deep in your chest, the silent hurt you push down, the sleepless nights filled with thoughts you can't say out loud. It follows you, and no one really sees it. You get up, you go through the motions, you smile when you're supposed to. But behind your eyes, there's a storm. Some days you manage it. Other days it manages you. And the worst part, you've started to believe that maybe this is just how life will always be. But here's the truth. This is not how it has to stay. That heaviness you've been carrying wasn't meant to stay with you forever. You weren't created to live broken. You weren't born to suffer in silence. You were made for healing. Real healing. Not just a moment of relief. Not just a distraction. But deep, soul-level restoration. The kind that touches your past, your pain, and your present, and makes you whole again. Yes, you. Even if you've failed. Even if you've been hurt too many times. Even if no one else believes it for you. Healing is not reserved for the lucky. It's for the willing. The fact that you're here, listening right now, is not an accident. You were led here because something in your heart is still reaching for hope. And that hope is not foolish. It's powerful. You may feel numb, tired, stuck, but you're not forgotten. Your pain is real, but so is the possibility of healing. And in this very moment, the door is already starting to crack open. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to fix everything overnight. All you need is a little space in your heart, a small moment of faith. To believe that something can change, there are 3 words. Just 3, and when you speak them from a place of truth, things begin to shift. These words carry power. They break chains. They open the door to the healing you've been waiting for. And before this message ends, you're going to say them. Not because someone told you to, but because something deep inside of you knows it's time. You've tried staying silent. You've tried carrying the weight alone. Now try something different. Speak. Release. Let go. Because when you do, what feels impossible starts to move. When you open your mouth in faith, heaven listens. Change begins. Don't stop now. Don't click away. This might be the moment that changes everything. Stay with me because you are closer to healing than you think. The breakthrough isn't somewhere far off. It's already here, waiting for you to say yes, to believe, to speak. Healing starts the moment you decide that you're not going to carry this pain for one more day. So keep listening, keep leaning in, because those 3 words are coming. And when you speak them, your life will never be the same again. So why do so many people stay stuck in the same pain year after year? Not because they're too broken, not because they're beyond help, but because they've come to believe that pain is permanent, that healing is for someone else. Somewhere deep inside, a voice started whispering lies. This is just who you are now. This is your life. You don't deserve better. And over time, those lies grew louder. They started sounding like truth. Until one day, you stopped reaching for freedom because you forgot what it felt like. You stopped asking for healing because you assumed the answer would always be no. But those lies are not your voice. They are not the voice of truth. They are the chains that keep you bound. They are the fear that wants to silence your faith. And the longer you believe them, the more they shape your reality. But right now, that can change. This moment can be the one where you draw a line and say, no more. Because you were not created for a life of quiet suffering. You were not designed to live beneath the weight of shame, regret, or hidden wounds. You were meant to rise. You were meant to heal. Your mind has been trained to expect the worst, to prepare for disappointment, to shield yourself from hope. But the same mind that has been trained in fear can be renewed in faith. This is not about ignoring the pain or pretending it doesn't hurt. This is about daring to believe that you are still worth fighting for. That healing is not a fantasy. It's a process that begins with permission. Your permission. And it doesn't start when life gets easier. It starts when you stop agreeing with brokenness as your identity. It starts when you speak what you've been afraid to say. Pain becomes a prison when you stop believing there's a way out. But healing begins the moment you decide to challenge what that pain has told you. It's not easy. It takes courage. But you already have that courage inside you. It's in every breath you've taken just to keep going. It's in every tear you've cried in silence. That's strength. The strength to survive is the same strength that can carry you into healing. But you have to choose it. You have to stop letting your pain be the loudest voice in the room. Right now, you have a choice. Keep letting your pain write your story, or speak words that begin a new chapter. This isn't just about feeling better. It's about breaking free. It's about refusing to stay a prisoner to a past that no longer serves you. You have stayed quiet long enough. You have waited long enough. The shift starts when you speak, and the moment you give your voice to faith, everything begins to change. Those 3 words are waiting on your tongue. Don't hold them back, because your healing begins the second you decide to believe again. The words you speak are not just sounds. They are signals. They shape your thoughts, your emotions, and your future. What you say in private, what you repeat in your mind, what you confess in your lowest moments. These words either build you or break you. Every time you say, "I can't," your mind agrees. Every time you whisper, "I'm not enough," your spirit shrinks. But the moment you speak life, something inside you begins to wake up. You are not powerless. You are not a victim of your thoughts. You are a creator, and your words are tools of creation. The truth is, you've been speaking pain for so long, you forgot what it sounds like to speak power. You've been rehearsing worst-case scenarios, breathing in anxiety, and calling it normal. But it's not. You were never meant to live in a cycle of self-sabotage. You were made to speak words that unlock heaven. Words that realign your heart with truth. Every time you speak with faith, even just a little, you are reaching beyond your pain and connecting with something eternal. You're not just talking into the air. You're shifting your spirit. You're breaking the silence that's been stealing your healing. What you declare, you begin to believe, and what you believe becomes the foundation of how you live. So speak with purpose. Speak with boldness. Speak even when you don't feel strong. Because feelings follow faith, and faith often begins when nothing makes sense. It's not about pretending you're fine. It's about declaring that even in your weakness, you will rise. Even in your confusion, you will trust. Even in your pain, you will speak healing into existence. These are not empty affirmations. This is spiritual alignment. This is how you stop echoing defeat and start declaring destiny. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to feel worthy. You don't need to be perfect. All you need is the courage to say what your spirit already knows, that you are not meant to stay in this pain forever. That something better is possible. That healing is your inheritance, not just a hope. And the words that unlock it aren't complicated. They aren't wrapped in rituals or hidden in mystery. They're simple, honest, and full of power. They are waiting to be spoken, not by someone else, but by you. Right now, the atmosphere of your life is being shaped by what you've been speaking. So if you're tired of living in fear, speak peace. If you're done with emptiness, speak fullness. If you're ready for freedom, speak like someone who believes in it. You have more power than you think. And the moment you use it to speak healing, you break agreement with every lie that told you you'd never be whole again. Your voice matters. Your words carry weight. And when you finally speak the words that invite God into your pain, everything begins to shift. Healing isn't far. It's already waiting for your voice. Healing doesn't begin with control. It begins with surrender. That's the truth many avoid, because surrender feels like weakness. It feels like giving up. But in reality, surrender is strength in its purest form. It's the moment you stop trying to carry what was never yours to hold. It's the moment you say, "I can't fix this, but I don't have to." You weren't created to be your own healer. You were created to release what's breaking you into the hands of the one who can restore you completely. Holding on to the pain, the shame, the questions, it doesn't protect you. It drains you. It keeps you locked in survival when you were born to thrive. So many stay stuck not because healing isn't possible, but because they refuse to let go. They've built walls around their pain and called it strength. But real strength is when you let yourself feel. Real strength is when you allow yourself to be seen, even by God. Especially by God. There's nothing strong about pretending to be okay while your soul is crumbling. There's nothing brave about silence when your heart is crying out for change. You don't need to carry this anymore. You've done enough. You've tried, you've fought. Now it's time to lay it down. Surrender is not about giving up on healing. It's about giving up the illusion that you can do it alone. That weight on your chest, the constant tension in your thoughts, the numbness that creeps in when no one's around, that is not your portion. That's not who you are. It's who pain tried to turn you into. But there is a version of you that exists beyond the hurt. There's a you that breathes freely, laughs fully, loves without fear, and surrender is the path to meeting that version of you again. Not through striving, but through letting go. There's nothing more powerful than a heart that says, I can't do this on my own, and I don't have to. That is the moment heaven draws near. That is when healing rushes in, because surrender invites God into places you've kept hidden for far too long. It's not about saying the right words. It's about letting your soul speak honestly, even if your voice shakes, even if the pain still lingers. Surrender says, I trust you more than I trust my fear. I trust you more than I trust the pain. That's when the shift begins, not always outside, but deep inside where it matters most. You've held it together long enough. You've kept the mask on, played strong, pushed through. But now it's time to let go. Let go of control. Let go of the outcome. Let go of needing to understand everything. Surrender opens the door to healing because it makes room for something greater than your effort. Grace. And when grace enters, what felt impossible begins to move. The moment you surrender is the moment healing starts to breathe. There comes a moment when you stop waiting for the perfect conditions and start realizing the power is already in your mouth. Healing doesn't require a ceremony. It doesn't wait for a feeling. It responds to faith, raw, unfiltered, imperfect faith. And that faith is released when you speak, not in anger, not in fear, but in trust, in surrender, in boldness. There are 3 words that carry the weight of heaven, and when you speak them, you are not just asking, you are aligning. You are not begging, you are believing. You are standing in the gap between pain and promise, and choosing to declare that you will not stay broken. God, heal me, say it, not with performance, not with pressure, but with honesty, with desperation if you must, with hope even if it feels small. These words are not a script, they are a lifeline. They aren't complicated, but they are complete. In them is everything you need: humility, desire, faith, and surrender. You are not demanding anything. You are opening yourself to receive. And when your heart speaks what your soul has needed to say for years, something starts to break. Something old, something heavy, something false. You don't need to understand the process to activate the power. You don't need to have perfect theology or flawless words. You just need truth. You need intention. You need courage. And those 3 words carry all of it. They admit that you're not okay, but also that you believe change is possible. They say, I know I can't fix this, but I believe you can. That simple declaration tears down walls. It silences the voice of shame. It confronts the lie that says you're too far gone. It breaks the cycle of suffering in silence. God, heal. These words echo through the dark places. They reach into trauma you buried years ago. They rise above the noise of doubt, of fear, of failure. They hold the power to transform, not because of the sound, but because of the surrender behind them. You don't need to scream them. You don't need to repeat them 1,000 times. You just need to mean them. Say them with your whole heart, even if it's still breaking. Say them through tears. Say them through silence. Say them until the fear starts to lift. Say them until peace begins to move in. Right now, you are standing at the threshold of something greater than pain. You are standing in the doorway of healing. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now, this is the moment where everything begins to change. Not because you said something magical, but because you finally aligned your voice with your hope. You finally gave yourself permission to heal. Don't wait for someone to speak over you. Speak over yourself. Say it again. Say it like you believe it's possible. Say it like your future depends on it, because it does. God, heal me. Those 3 words are your beginning. Let them echo in your soul until healing answers. When you speak those 3 words, the atmosphere around you shifts, even if nothing looks different yet. Because healing doesn't always rush in like lightning. Sometimes it enters quietly, like breath returning to lungs that forgot how to inhale peace. Sometimes it starts as a single tear, a single thought that says, maybe I'm not beyond saving. Healing is not always instant, but it is always set in motion when faith opens its mouth. The pain that once controlled you begins to lose its grip. Not because you forced it to go, but because you stopped agreeing with it. Your voice told the darkness, you no longer have a place here. Don't underestimate what's happening inside of you right now. Don't dismiss the stirring just because the outside still looks the same. Deep healing always begins in hidden places. Roots start to come undone. Lies begin to unravel. The tension in your chest loosens, just enough for light to enter. You may not feel strong, but you are no longer silent. You have spoken life over your wounds. You have invited the presence of healing into the places where pain used to reign. And that is more powerful than any emotion. That is how change begins. Even if the scars remain, you're not who you were 5 minutes ago, because now you've spoken faith. And faith doesn't leave you where it found you. It moves you, it lifts you, it redefines you. You are being rebuilt from the inside out. Maybe slowly, maybe quietly, but undeniably. There is something rising inside you that pain cannot kill. You have a spark again, a glimpse of who you could become if you keep going, if you keep believing, if you keep declaring with your voice what your heart has longed for all along. You will be tempted to go back, to silence yourself again, to let fear creep in and convince you it was just a moment. But this wasn't just a moment. This was a decision, and decisions shape destiny. You decided to speak life, to choose healing. And even if everything in your life tries to pull you back into the same cycles, you now have something different. You have awareness. You have a word. You have a weapon. And you can use it every day again and again, not just once. Every time pain returns. Every time fear rises. Every time shame whispers. You speak, God, heal me, not as a question, but as a declaration. Not because you're weak, but because you know where strength comes from. Every time you speak those words, you're building a new pattern, a new rhythm, a new identity. You are no longer the person who hides pain. You are the one who rises from it, the one who speaks healing until it becomes reality. Keep speaking, keep standing, keep believing. Because healing is not a single moment. It's a lifestyle, and now it's yours. Healing changes you, not just the way you feel, but the way you think, the way you move, the way you show up in the world. When your soul begins to mend, your perspective shifts. You stop seeing yourself through the lens of damage and start seeing yourself through the eyes of destiny. You are no longer defined by what broke you. You are shaped by what rebuilt you. Every moment you speak those 3 words, you're not just asking. You're becoming someone whole, someone bold, someone free. And freedom doesn't wait until everything looks perfect. It begins the moment you decide that your past no longer has permission to lead your life. There will still be days when the old pain tries to return. But now, you're equipped. Now you know the way forward is not silence, not shame, not self-blame. It's voice, it's presence, it's truth. When that heaviness tries to settle back in, don't shrink. Don't run. Stand in what you know and speak what you believe. God, heal me. Say it through the pressure. Say it through the doubt. Say it through the noise. Let those words become your foundation, your focus, your fight. Because healing isn't fragile. It's fierce. It requires commitment. It grows stronger every time you choose it again. You don't need anyone's permission to live healed. You don't need to wait for people to understand you, apologize to you, or validate your pain. Your healing is not their responsibility. It's between you and God. And you've already started. You've already opened the door. You've already made the choice to stop living beneath the weight of what tried to destroy you. And that choice has power. That choice is a declaration to every force that wanted to keep you bound. You will not be silenced. You will not stay small. You will rise. You will heal. You will walk in the strength that was always meant to be yours. Let it be known you are not going back. You are not going to relive the same cycles. You are not going to wear your wounds as your identity. You are moving forward with every breath, with every word, with every decision to speak life where there was once silence. The healing you've begun will multiply. It will spill over into every area of your life, your relationships, your thoughts, your vision. You will start to expect peace. You will begin to feel joy again. You will trust that good things are not just possible for others. They are available to you. So keep speaking. Keep choosing it. Keep walking in it. Healing is your new language. Wholeness is your new posture. And power is now rising from every part of you that once felt broken. This is not a temporary high. This is a turning point. Speak it again. Not because you need to be reminded, but because it's who you are now. You are healed, healing, and becoming more whole every time you believe it. Healing is not the absence of pain. It's the presence of peace in the middle of it. It's the quiet confidence that even if everything around you shakes, you won't fall apart. It's not that the struggle disappears overnight. It's that the struggle no longer controls you. And that's what your words have begun to unlock. You're no longer driven by the past. You're no longer waiting for someone to rescue you. You've remembered that your voice is powerful. And when you speak from the depths of your soul, heaven responds. Not with noise, but with healing that flows like a river, steady, pure, and unstoppable. The shift has already started. You're not begging to feel better. You're declaring that you will not remain the same. And that shift touches more than your emotions. It rewires how you see everything. You start to guard your mind. You start to protect your peace. You stop tolerating environments that poison your growth. You begin to carry yourself differently, not in arrogance, but in quiet authority. Because healing restores more than your heart. It restores your identity. And when you remember who you are, you stop settling for anything less than freedom. This is what it means to walk in healing. Not perfection, but progression. You won't always feel strong, but you will know where strength comes from. You will still face battles, but you won't face them empty. Your soul will remember that it is not alone, that you are supported, that you are heard, that you are held by something greater than your pain. And that kind of knowing, deep, anchored knowing, is what carries you forward when the world tries to pull you back. That is the kind of strength no one can take from you. Every time you speak those 3 words, you reinforce the truth. Every time you say them, you silence the lies that once ran your life. You stop the replay of past mistakes. You reject the voice that said you'd never change. And you replace it with power. You replace it with peace. You replace it with purpose. Because there is purpose in your healing. There is purpose in your voice. There is purpose in your story, even the parts that hurt. Especially the parts that hurt. What once crushed you will now confirm you. What once broke you will now build you. What once defined you will now refine you. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait to be perfect. Keep speaking. Keep standing. Keep showing up for yourself with boldness, even in the moments when it feels like nothing is changing. Because something is. Something always shifts when faith is spoken. Your voice is your weapon. Your declaration is your turning point. Say it again as many times as you need. God, heal me. Let it be more than words. Let it be your new way of living. You are not waiting for healing to come. You are walking in it now. Keep walking. Keep speaking. You are becoming whole. You don't need to wait for a sign. You've already been given a voice. And when you use that voice to speak healing, you step into alignment with the very purpose you were created for. You were not created to stay wounded. You were not created to carry burdens that drain your soul. You were created to rise, to shine, to walk in the kind of wholeness that transforms everything it touches. That kind of life doesn't come through striving. It comes through surrender and declaration. You've surrendered. Now you declare, not once, not occasionally, but consistently, until your heart believes it, until your mind reflects it, until your life shows it. It starts with a whisper, but it doesn't stay small. As you keep speaking life, it grows. Your belief grows. Your courage grows. Your clarity returns. You begin to see through new eyes. What used to intimidate you no longer holds the same power. The fear that used to stop you now fades behind the light of your healing. Because when God begins something in you, He finishes it. And when you speak the words that invite Him in, when you say them not just with your mouth, but from your soul, you awaken something unshakable inside you. That unshakable part of you was never lost. It was only buried under pain, under doubt, under silence. But now you've spoken. You've broken the silence. And you've given that deeper part of you permission to live again. That's why you feel the shift. That's why your tears feel different now. That's why your breath feels deeper. Because you're not pretending anymore. You're not hiding anymore. You're standing in truth. And truth heals. Not by force, but by freeing you. It doesn't erase your past. It reclaims it. And it reminds you that healing is not something you earn. It's something you receive when you believe you're worthy of more. You are worthy of more, even if they left, even if they hurt you, even if you failed, even if the voice in your head says otherwise. You are not too broken. You are not beyond restoration. You are not your lowest moment. You are more than the pain, and your words are the key. Keep using them. Keep lifting them like a weapon against everything that tried to silence you. Speak healing over your mind. Speak healing over your body. Speak healing over the parts of your soul you've been too afraid to face. Speak it until the atmosphere shifts. Speak it until peace returns. God, heal me. Let it echo. Let it rise from every place inside you that has waited in silence. Let it be the sound that opens heaven and closes the chapter of suffering. You have spoken. Now believe. Believe that healing has already begun. Believe that you don't have to go back. Believe that you are worthy of walking free. You've come too far to turn around now. Keep going. Keep speaking. Healing is no longer a hope. It's your new way of living.